Thank you. Well, yeah, we first. So it's not like oh, that's what I had about every brand. So Stefan, of the recruiting manager.
Good morning to Dr. Batson, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Dominic. And how are you, sir?
Doing well, my friend. How are you doing today?
Excellent, excellent. I am here. I'm blessed. I'm alive. I am, of course, in excellent company. Uh, Let me say, of course, first of all, a pleasant good morning to the listeners of Sky 99.5. Always a pleasure to be in your company on a Sunday morning discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. Yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson Associates. And as I said, I am in esteemed company. I am have with me this morning Mr. Stefan Vialva. Good morning, Mr. Vialva. How are you doing, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Nice. Mr. Vialva being one of our senior blood microscopists and consultants at Batson Associates. Very, very thorough and, efficient, effective. I mean, when this young man does your blood, or do your blood for you rather, you are amazed. Thorough, quite effective in terms of disseminating information. So good morning again to you, sir. Always a pleasure to be in your company. So we have a really nice program packed for you guys today. Of course, let me say thank you first and foremost, from the bottom of my heart to everyone who took time out of their busy schedule to send birthday greetings to me. And in all the 600 plus messages, and that was just on Facebook alone, the other platforms. So the over 1,000 greetings and God bless you and thank you and everything. I'm so greatly appreciative for that. And I always tell people when someone say God bless you, that is not something I take for granted. I really look at it as energy towards and positive energy towards you, and that does make a difference, right? Even in the way we greet each other, the way we say good morning, the way you hug a family member, it really is positive energy. And when you give someone a blessing, I believe that it goes a long way. So I thank everyone for all the blessings that they gave to me, and this morning I am going to bless you guys in a different way. There's a particular song that I love. And I think it resonates, everything as it relates to life and spirituality, and even to the aspect associated with God being able to provide for you, because all of us went through COVID, and we continually have challenges that we deal with every day, family, personal, emotional, whatever the case may be. There's not an easy world to live with, but I'm someone who believes in spirituality more than religion, because I think religion tends to be a bit divisive, or divisive rather. But from a spiritual perspective, even from how the body operates, you do have a spiritual body, and if you don't feed that body, it affects actually the physical body, and that has been scientifically proven. So this is my blessing to you guys. I suggest you raise your radio up very, very, very high. 'Cause I'm telling you, this is going to become one of your most favorite songs, and that's my blessings to you. And of course, we start the program after. Dominic, sir, take it away.
Jesus, you are for me. You are with me. You live in me. My life is in you. I'm secure. Jesus, you are for me. You are with me. You live in me. My life is in you. I'm secure. In you I live, I move, and have my being. In you I live, I move, and have my being. In you I live, in you I move, and have my being. And I live, I move, and have my being. Ooh, say more. Never be sacrificed with the whole Lord. I am secure. Things that but never
Yeah, wait a minute. I
if you can take your own capacity, cry. Your time is going to I know why those in you I live, I move, and have my being. In you I live, I move, and have my being.
I'm decent. I'm in here and it because I on this I know if you get that song left. See what he does, you see what he taking here. Yeah, you can't hear the song and I move. What's your next song? It's in there. Oh, I wish Oh, you always sing it after. Yeah.
GNT Nation.
Yes, yes. So that basically is my sentiments to you guys this morning. Thank you again. And of course, as it relates to your health, we all have to try our best to do the, as we always say, stack the odds in your favor. Some people often tell you, well, something had to kill you, boy, something had to carry you. So, all this fuss about, being healthy, sometimes they figure is unnecessary, because as someone once said, you can do all what you need to do, eat well, drink your amount of water, exercise, that kind of thing, and then, God forbid, you get a vehicular accident or something. But I mean, you can't live a life like that, because that's like being a driver, and every time you're going out, you're saying you wouldn't drive because the possibility exists you could be in an accident. The possibility exists. A lot of negative things can happen, but you don't live day by day, scared and frightened. You have some certain level of, faith as regards to a number of things. So even as it relates to your health, it's very important that you at least put certain things in place to give you, the ability to, to be healthier, especially in a country where, we have such high amounts of lifestyle diseases. I was listening to one aspect of the budget review, and one of the senators was actually mentioning that based on the amount of looking at the healthcare aspect of the country, and what was budgeted for healthcare, and they were saying because of the amount of illnesses we have, or ill people that we have in Trinidad. I mean, our diabetic population is per capita is astronomical. It's one of the highest in the world. Our adolescent diabetes and adolescent obesity levels are exceedingly high. Again, I think in the top 5 where diabetes is concerned, we're in the top 3, top 5, somewhere around there. When you look at prostate cancer, again, we're top 5 in that. Breast cancer now, I believe we're top 10. So we in a lot of races, or winning some races that we really don't want to be winning, and it's a matter of really determining what it is has changed. What are we doing that we're not supposed to be doing that would really give us the opportunity to, live healthier lives? So that's where we're going today. Keep in mind, Batson and Associates, our head office, of course, is Shogunas. That is the first floor of Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. That telephone number, of course, for that office is 2228261. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook, on Instagram. We are Batson and Associates TT on YouTube. We are Batson and Associates Trinidad, and on TikTok, we are Batson and Associates. Let me say, of course, a pleasant good morning to Miss Pamela Moses, Miss Rachel Johnson, Miss Kamala Samaru, Miss Ramona Jackman, Miss Rachel Johnson, Miss Maureen Pierre Reed. Good morning to you guys. Miss Ria Harikisun. We're also live on our Instagram. Again, we are Batson Associates TT on Instagram. Of course, we have Miss Jackie Sammy, who has joined us. Adriana too. Bad has also joined us as well. So keep in mind, the program is interactive. We, of course, discussing a number of health challenges this morning. PMS is something I always want to touch on, and Mr. Vialva will bear me out with the statement I'm going to make, where we have a lot of clients coming to us now with that and actually getting good results and recommended other persons.
Okay.
Because with PMS, you have serious issues associated with anxiety or panic attacks. You have issues associated with insomnia, issues associated with depression,
Yes.
and even hypertension. And a lot of women, are going to the doctors. They're being treated for those specific issues, not really recognizing that those are secondary, tertiary, primary situation, which is PMS, which is actually an issue associated with hormonal imbalance and an imbalance in the endocrine system.
Okay.
So, Mr. Vialva, as a senior blood microscopist and consultant at Batson and Associates, with your experience with the blood analysis, because I always like to go there, to highlight to the public the importance of actually doing the blood analysis, because a lot of persons say, well, that's not a laboratory analysis, and then someone like yourself who is also qualified as a phlebotomist, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Good. You have extensive knowledge as it relates to aspect associated with laboratory testing and blood reports, quantitative analysis, those type of things, right? You understand the language of a blood test, basically, right? So from that particular aspect, in terms of comparison, why or how important would you say a blood analysis is, despite having those types of test results?
All right. So the importance of the live blood analysis, for example, let's just say someone just came in for a checkup and they weren't aware, because some persons they think they're healthy because externally you're looking good and all of those things, and you
Just
just
put nice makeup.
right. and you come for a checkup. With the blood analysis, you could identify if the person has hormonal indications, and based on the quantity, we will then send them to do external tests for the
Right.
laboratory and so forth for more diagnostic purposes. But the live blood analysis is a very good tool, I should say, to indicate early before problems become worsened.
That is it. Yeah, exactly. You hit the nail on the head there. Because I always tell persons, when you have the ability to understand blood microscopy, which both of us, of course, are well trained in that aspect. I mean, experience. I cannot count how much blood analysis I have done in my career for the past 14 years. I mean, I've done literally thousands of blood analysis, even when I was training in Chicago. So, the thing with that, what I appreciate, as you rightfully said, it really gives us an overall holistic view of the body, especially as the aspect of inflammatory response, where we see all that oxidative stress, we know the body's under, and we often see that with persons who, for example, who may have cancer, who may have HIV/AIDS, who may have serious issues with lung problems. So you have things like pneumonia, tuberculosis, persons who have serious bowel inflammatory conditions, so like Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome,
Gastritis,
colitis. Good. Because with that amount of inflammation in the body, that amount of oxidative stress, that individual cannot be healthy. Simply because the body has created an environment that is so conducive to disease. So conducive to disease. And that is why, as a practitioner of natural and integrated medicine, I always tell people that's why I chose this type of medicine as opposed to Western medicine. I mean, both have their place and time. I always tell persons that, when the physical body is most in emergency, Western medicine is the only thing that could help you.
Yeah, in case of an emergency.
In case of an emergency, if you get a gunshot wound, you are in a vehicular accident, you are a pregnant woman, and you're going to some sort of issue where the child is breech or something like that, you can't come and drink Bush, you can't come and drink inflammation formula and take nerve restore and that kind of thing. That is not the time for that. That's not the time for that. You are in a situation where an emergency medical specialist, surgical specialist, has to deal with you because the physical body needs, it is under emergency. Immediate relief is needed. And people who make noise or doctors who ill speak nutrition and herbs and supplementation, they don't understand that point. The point is, we are not saying that you are useless. That is never the case. You know? That has never been the case with me. Place and time. People don't understand that you need different doctors for different times.
That's right.
So in that emergency situation, you have to go to an emergency surgical specialist. Those doctors are specific. They are the, I always tell people, emergency medical doctors who work in ERs, who work in high rotation in theaters and those type of things. They are exceptionally gifted people because of being in that rush, and you have to be able to act quickly, and not everybody could do that. So you have to understand that Batson and Associates is not, that is where we need you. You need, or when you need us, you need Batson and Associates after. So after you finish do your surgery, if you had to do an emergency surgery, and maybe about a month, 2 months, 3 months after, then you need to come to Batson and Associates. And what Batson and Associates will do for you is ensure that your body heals faster, healthier. We will also ensure that you have least amount of scar tissue, because when you do surgeries, especially women, when you do things like hysterectomy, myomectomy, fibroid embolization, those type of things, even when you do cesarean sections, the body is in a situation, and especially in those places, especially a cesarean section, because cesarean section is where you cut the deepest. That's one of the most, you cut one of the most amount of layers. I believe you go to tissue, you go muscle, you go, that's one of the deepest cuts. Takes long to heal as well. Very long to heal, and most of them do not heal well. And the reason why they do not heal well is because you have no nutritional protocol subsequent to the surgery to help your body heal faster than normal. And that's when you need Batson and Associates. If you're a sportsman or a sportswoman and you're injured, then you need Batson and Associates, because we could do nutritional and clinical protocols for you if you have problems with hypertension and your situation so bad that you actually go into a point where your kidney is starting to give you problems. That's when you need Batson and Associates. Medical doctors can't help you with that. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. They're going to tell you have to go on dialysis. Batson and Associates is not going to tell you that. Once you bring that the glomerular filtration rate first, we get the kidney blood profile, so creatinine, bond, what again? Electrolyte panel,
sodium, potassium.
Right. Good. So once we get that, we are now able to help you and move you from a stage 5 kidney, because we have done it before, to stage 4, to maybe stage 3. In some cases, stage 2. There was someone we worked with in Tobago, that was maybe about a year ago, and we moved them from a stage 4 to a stage 2. There's someone we dealt with, we moved them from a stage 5 to a stage 3A. Listen to me, and Western medicine tells you that that is impossible. I'm telling you that is not the case. When you understand nutrition and you understand anatomy and physiology, and this is no boast, the way we at Batson Associates understand, and the way myself, because I dedicated 14 years, in fact more than that, maybe about 15, 16 years of my life to nutrition and educating myself as it relates to clinical nutrition, anatomy and physiology. I'm not an MD. A lot of people confuse that. I'm not an MD. I hold a bachelor's in holistic health science, a master's in health science, and my PhD is natural and integrative medicine. So my doctorate is a PhD, right? And that is in clinical nutrition with a concentration in diabetes and endocrinology. So that's why I have the ability. And then I did extensive reading. I'm a reader. I love to read. I always do research and that type of thing. I actually have some work that I'm doing right now. I actually have to do a second dissertation for something, because I like to learn, I like to study, and I love what I do. So I'm saying all of that to say that, we have sound information. You could listen to me. You could bring anyone, and this is no boast. You could bring anyone to us who is sick, and once they are compliant. Now there are two things that is cause problems with individuals. One is the economic factor, because not everyone has the means and the resources to afford a lot of what people like myself carry. And it's not like if we're trying to rob anybody and become a billionaire off anybody head, believe me, it is not that. But it's simply because those things you have to pay high amount of duties and taxes, whatever the case may be. And because the things that really matter, you don't get really, very low prices. I mean, I think as far as I know, things like what the lowest prices are what rice, flour, salt, butter, those type of things. I mean, they're nothing in that mix there that really really doing significant for you from a health perspective. I mean, you could always accentuate, for want of a better expression, those basic things by, but you have to add other things that are going to be more expensive. So if you have rice and you have to do rice with maybe a vegetable rice, go ahead, you're going to make a point.
Because most of the foods that is cheap in cost is mass produced.
Exactly.
And they are
poor quality.
Yeah, or genetically modified and so forth. So it doesn't have any nutritional benefit to the body. You will feel filled when you consume, but it doesn't have any value in terms of nutrition for the body to function optimally.
Well said. So it's really understanding that. So that's one of the hindrances, for want of a better expression, that people could experience. And the next one is compliance.
Yeah.
Some people are just not compliant, and that's why I say what I say when I say it. When I said that if it is you're not serious and you're coming to play games, then don't come to us. We don't want that kind of business. Mr. Vialva sitting down here, that's going to stress us out. Listen to me. Batson Associates make sure and calls and follow-ups with its clients. Find out how you're going. Find out if we always do comparisons when we send you for blood tests, when we send you for CT scans, whatever the case may be, to compare. And not only so you don't only feel well, but there's also empirical data to support the fact that you're feeling well.
Yeah, correct.
Because you no longer have the fibroids, or the arthritis is not as bad as it was before. The inflammation has reduced. Those type of things. We have fixed your nerves, so you're sleeping now. You have less panic attacks and those. You get tangible results. But compliance is important, because it doesn't make any sense. You come, spend your money, and then you go and do your own thing. Come on, man. Who time you're trying to waste? My own or your own?
Like of recent, I did a blood test for a mister,
right,
and his PSA was extremely high.
Right.
His PSA was actually 58.
Whoa, right.
Which is extremely high.
Mm-hmm.
And after starting the program, it's us changing up his diet and everything, regulating the hormones. It had reduced to, I believe, was 32.
Right.
And now it is 15.
Very good. Excellent. Right. Excellent. Yeah.
And that's because he was doing his job as well. In terms of following the advice that we would have given him.
Yeah. Because when you have a situation where you have a PSA that high, is a clear indication of high inflammation in the prostate. Yeah. So you cannot eat foods that are going to contradict or increase the inflammation. We try to reduce the inflammation on one end, and you eating foolishness to come and raise up, or increase the inflammation. That doesn't make any sense. So then you have to stay away from things like sugar, coffee, processed foods, more complex carbohydrates, a lot of greens, nutrient-dense foods, your macronutrients, micronutrients, those type of things. So and I tell people, if it is you do not understand one, anatomy and physiology properly, and you don't understand biochemistry as well as nutrition, because all those go hand in hand. They do. Anatomy and physiology. So you understand, for example, things like the liver converts protein to amino acid to protein. But your brain, in order to make neurotransmitters, needs excuse me, needs those needs those amino acids as raw material to produce the neurotransmitters. Yes. So if you have a sleeping problem, or you have problems with insomnia, that's why half of y'all don't get better. Yeah. Because what you're taking is medication that actually do things. Those are things like serotonin uptake inhibitors and all those type of things, which actually, do not help the body produce neurotransmitters, which is the whole purpose of sleep and those type of things. So the fix that you need at Batson Associates, as I said, is subsequent to, or not in an emergency situation. In an emergency situation, you do not need us. You need us in a lifestyle situation. They tell you, yeah, diabetes, you're pre-diabetic, come by Batson and Associates. Reversal. That's what you're looking at from a holistic perspective. Does it take work? Yes, it does. Do you get results? Yes, you do. But you have to follow instruction. Simple.
It may also take a little time depending on
Good. I'm also with
the issue.
Thank
For
you for that.
example, if a person is type 1 diabetic and is
Correct.
dependent on insulin, it will take some time because the pancreas really isn't functioning optimally. So you have to do some work, tweak your diet, be consistent, you know,
Exercise
check your
is also
exercise, drink a lot of water. These are things that you have to do that goes hand in hand to reverse the condition from a root cause.
Yeah, I remember dealing with a client, you know, who had rheumatoid arthritis. And, you know, they came and they had a friend who came to us, and the friend got really quick results. I think the friend's results was maybe like in about the first 2 weeks. You know, her mobility returned, the pain significantly reduced, like maybe by about 15% or 50%, sorry. She had better bowel movement, better mobility, you know, she was able to sleep better. No, but the results was excellent. But hers was in a short space of time as compared to the person who she recommended. Because the person who she recommended, when they came, I told her, she was like about a month, and she was complaining and saying that, you know, she's not getting the relief that she expected to get. And I said, you have to understand that your body is not your friend's body.
Correct.
You came with specific, you were on prednisolone and corticosteroids, different things like methotrexate for years. Those things, your toxic buildup in your body is going to be very high. The damage to your nerves is going to be way more extensive than someone who was not placed on that medication regime. You took painkillers extensively for a number of years. Your nerves literally wrecked. So those things will take time to fix. The central nervous system takes of all the organ systems in the body. I personally find, I mean, I've never really done any research. In fact, that's something I could actually go and do some research on. But in my personal experience, and I can understand why, from the perspective of anatomy and physiology, why the central nervous system is going to take a while to correct itself, because the nerves depend heavily on high amounts of omegas, one. And that is one of the greatest deficiencies in human diet, I believe, or one of the that and micronutrients, macronutrients. And because of that deficiency and that high level of deficiency for such a long period of time, your nerves take a longer period of time to correct. So someone who has diabetic, we're not saying you wouldn't get results in them. We have had persons who had diabetic neuropathy who came to us, pins and needles, cramping in the cars, they're not feeling 3 toe, 4 toe, 5 toe, 10 toes. So you could take your foot, somebody could be hitting you on their foot, beating you on their foot, and you're not feeling anything. Okay. We had people like that who got results in weeks. We have some of them who took months. But again, the point I'm making, it depends on the damage. Your damage and your neighbor damage cannot be the same damage.
Also, depending on the medication that you're using, it can affect your blood circulation as well. And the nervous system is highly dependent on circulation.
Exactly.
To be well maintained, because you get nutrients day to day based on what you consume, to allow the body to function optimally. So the liver will get its specific nutrient to function optimally. If you're using a lot of medication, the organs will be under stress. It will take some time for the organs to really function from a holistic point of view. If you're using a lot of medication on a day-to-day basis.
Correct. And the thing is, and that's one of the things that we train the diet. People ask us at Batson Associates if we have a dietitian. We do, technically. I mean, I would even qualify Mr. Villalba as a dietitian. I've seen Mr. Villalba on some diets way more impressive than some of the things. And again, not being critical, I've seen diets from the hospital. I don't agree with the kidney diet at all. I have serious issues with that diet. That diet, I think, significantly, it causes a lot of problems in the body, simply because they starve you, and the body, in order to heal or rejuvenate, needs nutrition.
That's right.
And because the diet is so, I mean, you leach your food. So you soak this food for this extended period of time. So all the water-soluble vitamins gone, basically. You're not going to get any minerals there either. I mean, you will get, but a low percentage. So essentially, you're eating husk, right? Now I understand. The thing is, we know I tell people in medicine, the hardest organ to fix is a kidney. Your kidney gives so much problems. That's why I tell people, you don't want to fall out with your kidney.
It's very delicate.
Delicate. It's one of the most delicate organs in the body. It cannot take abuse. It cannot take licks. Your liver, you could kind of play the fool with. And still now, what they're realizing, when I hear people need liver transplants, I've been awed. I was like, what it is you could have possibly do to your liver to need a liver transplant? Because the liver is one of the most resilient organs in the body. It is the organ with the highest rate of rejuvenation. It is one of your liver is an easier organ to fix. Cardiovascular. People came to us. I tell people, if you have a bad heart ain't hard to fix, man. If you have blocked arteries, we have a little challenge, but we're going to work with you in such a way. We have had people who came to us with ejection fractions 35, and in 3 months, 6 months, when we sent them back, the ejection fraction came back, increased by 10, increased by 20. And when there's this particular lady we dealt with at 85, her ejection fraction came back from 45 to 65. When she went back to the cardiologist was in shock. He said, ma'am, we do not have to do surgery on you. So I'm saying all of that to say that you have to understand how the body operates. Thyroid is our next gland that that's our next trouble organ. He given a lot of problems these days. Thyroid is our next organ, but a lot of people with thyroid problems are people with high levels of toxicity in the body.
And also, persons with thyroid issues is because they would have had a hormonal problem underlying.
Yes.
And they were unaware.
For years.
And it starts to affect the thyroid eventually because it's responsible for growth and metabolism.
Correct.
So all of a sudden you would start seeing your hair dropping in high quantities. You start getting weight loss and weight gain and all of these things because of the thyroid as well. And you see, as it relates to the diets as well, Miss Francis, just to answer your question there, I am also a certified personal gym instructor. And before entering into the medical industry, gymming is my passion. So diet it corresponds with
definitely.
In order to see results when you exercise, you have to have a clean, well prepped, designed diet there. So that's why I always mention diet to persons that I deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Definitely. And I too, as well, recently started back because how it is. That's the thing with gym. When you see a go, especially when you're getting cold, you lose weight and then the other thing. But I totally agree. I've been doing weightlifting for years. I never I would always put on weight. I always maintain a certain leanness. But I know, especially when I want gains. I remember the first time I passed 200 pounds. It was because I ate a particular way. So the thing is, in order for you to get the results that you want, diet is fundamental. It is just as important or more important than working out. Because even for maintenance,
that's right.
Maintenance, you have to have a proper diet. Your protein, clean, complex carbohydrates, those type of things. We really need to work on that. So, of course, keep in mind the program is interactive. So I think we have spoken for a little while. So what we're going to do is, of course, give you our telephone numbers. Keep in mind October the 28th. That is next week, Saturday, at Batson Associates in our Bay branch. We'll be having our health symposium, health fair. Of course, 2 sessions we're having. We're having an 11 to 1 and we're having a 3 to 5. Okay, so take full advantage of that. You have to call and register. We have a lot of persons already. In the DB number, of course, is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. So you can call that number tomorrow, please God, and book your spaces. Keep in mind too, you can also get onto the Shagona's office as well, which is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And keep in mind, we have that pension special as well as our that entire package that we carry with the blood analysis, your live and dry blood magnetic resonance analysis, your complimentary food detox, and your executive consultation. Great value for money. People who do that, they really appreciate and understand where they are and why certain things are going wrong because of the level of explanation and thoroughness that you get at Batson and Associates. That's one thing we're very thorough. Even in our nutritional protocols, I mean, we have some more work to do. We just need to, when we finish, have Tobago up and running the way it's supposed to, and Londonville, which would, God's willing, by the end of this year, God's willing, those things going to come into play. So, Ms. Annette Robinson, keep in mind too as well, we are live on our social media, Batson Associates Limited on Facebook, on Instagram, we are Batson Associates TT. Ms. Annette Robinson says, morning, Dr. Batson, Mr. Villalva, listeners, blessings from New York City, here on, sorry, it actually moved, a message came me, from New York, here on day 6 of my Santulan inflammation formula and nerve restore. All is well, especially love the inflammation formula. Thank you so very much for that. And she puts up big red hat. Ms. Kamala Samaru says, Dr. Batson, would the inflammation help me with muscle spasms and stiffness, also peripheral neuropathy, pain in the leg? Yes, it would. It most certainly would. Once you don't have allergy to any shell food, or you are not Seventh-day Adventist, you can actually use the Omega with the astaxanthin, which is actually a very good product. That we should have back in stock by the end of this month here. That product grows really, really quickly. Also, the regeneration circulation tea, big product. When I say big product, I love that product. That is actually on the same level to me as the love that I have for a product that I owe you guys that I should even talk about because you all might just want to hit me some lash. And that is actually the Santulan Slim, which we're going to get. We haven't forgotten you with that. We have a lot of new things coming very soon, and things that we used to have before that, we had little problems getting. But, that's life. And of course, we always have to do what we need to do. Ms. Dawn Ellis says, good morning, Dr. Batson and Associates, Mr. Villalva. What is regeneration circulation formula used for? Dawn Ellis. The regeneration circulation is actually a tea that is designed to improve circulation, but it's primarily designed for people with hypertension as well, because in the years of practice that I've been in practice, hypertension always tends to give problems. And I always had to be getting things. That's how we had balance circulation as well, which is the capsule form, right? As you want that refrigerate. That's also a very, very good product. And some of the ingredient profile in that product is actually in the rejuvenation circulation. And that product, we always got excellent results with it. The thing with that, some of the key ingredients were difficult to source because of COVID and a whole set of other things prior to that. But that situation has now sorted itself out, and we now have that product. So it's a tea, very good for circulation in general. So things like varicose veins, spider veins, hypertension especially, and the most important thing, it tastes so good. You would not even be tempted to put sugar in this, even though you all know when you're drinking tea, especially from Batson Associates, don't put sugar in the tea, please. But especially that tea, the tea literally tastes as if it is sweetened, but it's a natural, and that's because the ingredient profile.
I also believe it has some stevia.
Yeah, and it has some stevia in it as well. So, naturally sweet, excellent product. I tell you, that's a product, when you try it, you're going to love it. So, Don Ellis, that is basically what it does. Okay, so we're going to go over to Mr. Dominic. Sir, how are you doing, sir?
Doing all right on this end, Mike.
Okay, great, man. So just let's remind the audience. I don't know if you have any questions there that you want us to go through. You can, of course, remind them of the telephone numbers and the WhatsApp. And let's entertain some questions. Thank you, sir.
Of course. All right, so you can give us a call right now at 625-2759 or 624-7729. That number again, 625-2759 or 624-7729. Good morning, Dr. Batson. What is ginkgo good for? What is moringa good for? And what does olive oil first thing in the morning do for the body?
Okay. Moringa basically is a nutrient-dense food. So anything that's nutrient-dense is going to help with a number of things. Specifically, circulatory system. It's going to help musculoskeletal. The thing with, sorry, go ahead.
Alkalinity to the bloodstream.
Yeah, alkalining of the body as well. The thing is, dosage is what a lot of persons have to take into consideration. And that's why I always tell people, measurement is very important. I mean, herbal medicine, even what is now known as not nutraceuticals, right? That's what I want to say. Nutraceutical is actually a branch of science now that has come out maybe about 30 years ago, 20 years ago. And what nutraceuticals are pharmaceutically in terms of the measurement, but in herbal form. So could have garlic, you could have turmeric, you could have, and those are nutraceuticals in the sense that they are produced in a pharmaceutically recognized institution. So all the checks and balances would be there in terms of measurement. And I'm saying that to say moringa is something you have to be careful with, because if you take too much moringa, it gives you loose bowels. It could cause some problems. The other one was what? What was the other?
Ginkgo.
Ginkgo. Well, ginkgo. Well, ginkgo we know is for memory. I mean, that is actually very good for actually improving blood circulation in the brain. And anything that improves blood circulation in the brain is going to help with memory. It should help with eyesight as well. Again, dosage is very important. Potency and efficacy is also very important. That's why I tell people I'm very brand specific in what I use and what I recommend for persons. Because, I mean, with over 15 years experience, I mean, I could tell. I mean, there are things that and I take supplements for myself. I mean, if you see me in my cupboard home, you'll be in awe. The amount of things I use. And that's again because of my knowledge of, nutrition. And because the thing is, most people are deficient in nutrition and they don't know it.
Yes, that's right.
And Mr. Vialva, you would attest to that. They deficient totally. And this is not to embarrass anybody. This is not to attempt to be condescending or facetious in any way. But it's a fact. And I mean, our governments didn't really do a good job in educating people on nutrition. Even the schools now, that's where they need to start. They need to start in the schools, because these school children don't understand what proper nutrition is. They always want a snack, a soft drink. That's why they have to ban the things in the school, because they're realizing now that these children, and then they're telling you they have attention deficit hyperintensity disorder. It's not that they have the children and they have too much sugar in the bloodstream.
Yes.
So they need to work that out. So they're gonna run and behave like mad children and not pay attention to anything you're showing them. A child with that amount of caffeine and sugar in his body, you think you could put him in a class and sit down and teach him maths? Really? Okay, try.
And also, a lot of the snacks that they provide for kids have a lot of coloring.
Exactly, and we know food coloring is poison.
Yeah, that's right.
If you didn't know food coloring is poison, let me introduce you and let you know that food coloring is poison. It is actually on the list of carcinogens, as far as I believe, as well as smoke things. You see, all listen to smoke meat. Some of you all like the smoke bone and the smoke this and the smoke that. You need to be a little careful. The ham, those things are processed. And nitrogenous waste is one of the things, because those things carry some aspect of nitrogen or producing nitrogen in the body. I can't remember the exact biochemistry of it, but it does. And anything that does that is going to elevate your blood pressure. Yes. And that's why you find people who eat a lot of meat, especially if you eat a lot of barbecue and grilled food is completely different from barbecue. And then there's a difference if it is you actually use specific type woods. Like I know in Tobago, they would do like a particular fish on I think mango wood or something. I think this tastes so good. But that's a difference. But when you deal with coals and those type of things, you're now introducing hydrocarbons to the food that you're eating. So you're essentially making the food carcinogenic.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, so those are the things that you need to really know and understand, that, really map that out. The other one was the olive oil. And with olive oil, of course, we know olive oil is very good for the gastrointestinal system. It's also very good for the cardiovascular system.
Healthy fat.
It's a healthy fat, yes. Also very good for aspects associated with your skin. Collagen. It helps in some aspect. I believe it produces something there that helps with collagen production. It also helps as it relates to brain. So cardiovascular, cerebrovascular health. Again, quality, potency, efficacy is very important. Right. So again, feel free to give us a call or visit. Keep in mind, Saturday, the 28th of October, all routes lead to our DB office. That number for DB again.
DB contact is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. You can also contact our Shoguna's office at 222-8261. That's 222-8261 to get further information as it relates to booking your appointment for the DB symposium.
Good. Mr. Dominic, sir, next question.
All right, so let's take a call. Good morning, caller.
Hi, morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Dr. Watson, is there physical testing for peripheral neuropathy of the feet?
Okay, no problem. You can listen off here.
You do that testing?
Yeah, I'll answer off here for you. Yes, we do. Okay. So let me elaborate. The test that we do with the magnetic resonance analysis scan. Now, this is a machine I have a lot of respect for it, and I'll tell you why. It has never, when people come to us, they normally fall out before. I have done experiments, for want of a better expression, where I do take the client. We do the tests. Well, we have to take the basics. So we have to take, of course, weight, height, those type of things, right? Blood pressure and those type of things. We put in what we need to put in there, and then we scan you. And the thing is, without a shadow of a doubt, the problem always shows up. Because that is actually designed to show sub-health. You know what sub-health is? Sub-health is referred to by the World Health Organization as the condition of the body before illness, before diabetes, before arthritis, before high blood pressure, your body is in sub-health, which means it shows deterioration. Remember, these type of diseases are cumulative or progressive. You don't just get hypertension overnight. You don't just go to bed one morning and get up the next morning with high blood pressure or diabetes or cardiovascular health, or thyroid problems, as Mr. Vialva so rightly expressed just now. People who end up with thyroid problems are people who have underlying hormonal imbalance problems for
years.
Not days, not hours, not weeks, for years. In most cases, in excess of 10, 15, 20 years. You don't get sick overnight.
You don't.
Especially those type of diseases. So it's a matter of, that is what the machine has the ability to show. If we need anything additional apart from that, we may recommend a Doppler, which is an ultrasound of the legs.
Yeah.
And if it's really, 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 really bad, then it means we're going to have to go the level of maybe a CT scan, MRIs of the legs themselves, so they could actually get, because that's CT scan is three-dimensional ultrasound. So it actually gives size and dimension and those type of things. Okay. So again, those telephone numbers. Yes, go ahead, sir. Go ahead with the questions. Next question.
Okay, great. What do you have to treat kidney stones?
Kidney stones is easy. There's a kidney cleanse that we carry. We have kidney tea. Santulan actually works really well for kidney stones and gallstones. We have helped persons significantly in that particular aspect with kidney stones, gallstones. So yes, we do.
And also, as it relates to the kidney stones, because there's 4 different types.
Yes.
Based on the type that we would identify, the person have to make changes in their diet. So, for example, if they're consuming too much meat, it could be as a relate of uric acid, or too much calcium. They will have to change their diet and so forth as well to not cause any
reoccurrence.
That's right.
Well said. Well said. Thank you so very much for that. But quickly, Ms. Cindy Hoyt asked the question, Doc, magnetic resonance test, is it possible to get an electronic copy of that report? Yes, we can. We can email that to you. What you can do, Cindy, just call the office or WhatsApp them and we'll send it over for you. Okay. Next question, sir.
All right. Caller, good morning.
Hi, good morning. I am over 60.
Uh-huh.
And I always have this cramping under my feet. And sometimes I'm itching all under and I can't pinpoint. What is that?
All right. So as it relates to the cramp.
Just 1 second. Tell me something. Are you still there, right? Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, so you're not a diabetic, as far as you know.
No, I am not.
Are you hypertensive, or have been diagnosed with anything at all?
No, because the last time I went, I checked the doctor. He's seen a trace of the sugar, but when I'm testing my sugar every day, no, not 200, it's 120 something, So I know I'm not a diabetic.
Okay. And surgeries? Ever had any surgeries? You don't have to be specific. Just yes or no.
I had surgery for fibroid years ago. That's the only thing.
Okay. Well, the thing is, if not a hysterectomy though.
No.
Okay, no. Cool. What it was, a myomectomy?
Yeah, we just take out the womb.
You take out.
the fibroids.
The fibroids, yes. Okay, good. And that actually, so you can listen. You can listen off here. No, I'll make some.
My mom.
Uh-huh.
My mom, she is a kidney person.
Right.
She's on dialysis.
She's on dialysis.
And yeah, and she has lost the mobility. She fell.
Whoa.
And she cannot the hip fracture.
Right.
She is on a wheelchair. All right.
Right.
They advise. Well, my question to you.
Uh-huh.
She is 91.
No, man.
You recommend that? She always have high blood pressure.
Uh-huh.
Drinking garlic tea, but she believes in the tablet. She is still listening. So let me hear your views too on that. That's
you remember that question, right? Yeah. Okay, good. No problem.
All right.
All right.
no.
Okay, great. No problem. We'll answer you. Thanks.
All right. So as it relates to the kidneys are very delicate, as we would have mentioned in the interim of the program. And the kidneys could cause many other factors as well. For example, the kidneys has a process in which is called EPO, which is erythropoietin, that stimulates the bone marrow to produce blood on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
And because the blood is produced in the bone marrow, having that lack of ability to stimulate that process, it can cause some issues with the bone as well.
Yeah, osteoporosis.
Right. And because women don't have a high quantity of testosterone as a man would, they are prone to getting osteoporosis, especially at her age. Bone loss and all of these things will start to take place.
Yeah.
So fracturing of the bone could be very possible there, which will cause lack of mobility. With the dialysis being present, it will definitely take some time, and also age-related, because the organs will not be as strong to regenerate as a person when they were younger.
I think based on I don't know if I think she said something about a fall. She said she fell. Sorry,
I can't remember.
I think I heard that. No, Dominic, you heard that?
Yes.
Yeah, she said she fell. Right. So most likely, if you fall with it, right, would have been there. I mean, the thing is, as it relates to dialysis patients, we do help people like that. And when I say people like that, in the sense to try to help you to get a better quality of life, we usually, when dialysis patients comes to us, we're very careful with the diets that we do. Those diets are usually done by myself or any one of the senior consultants, because of how detailed they are. Because when you're dealing with a dialysis patient, you need to be very careful, and we have successfully dealt with so many of them. They have gotten a better quality of life. Some of them actually started back urinating in some instances. We had persons, their blood pressure always reads better, their sleep is better, because there are things that you could do to modulate the nutrition to give them a better quality of life.
Yes.
Right, especially based on what Mr. Villalva so eloquently explained just now there, as it relates to the kidney and the connection with the kidney and the bones, because the medical fraternity doesn't really pay attention to that. And you find most dialysis patients, they tend to waste away very quickly because the nutrition is so poor. Yes. Because remember, being on dialysis already, your water intake, even the hydration. So we have to adjust the hydration. We take out all the nonsense. Once you're a dialysis patient, you should not be drinking soft drink, juice, or any energy drink. Never. No alcohol, no coffee. Never, ever, 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 ever. I don't even want to hear a 2 ounce. It is totally unacceptable, because you already have limited fluid intake and hydration in the body. You're going to drink rubbish to give your body more work to do? Come on, man. What are you doing? What are you doing yourself? So when we do those programs for you, you're going to get the results that you're supposed to get, based on the differences that or the changes that we would make. As it relates to you, for yourself, I believe that the myomectomy would have been a contributing factor to that, because remember, where myomectomy, which is the physical removal of fibroids from the womb. The thing is, the womb is very it's connected to the cardiovascular system, especially circulation in your legs. So I believe because of the surgery, you may have developed some scar tissue and adhesions, and those scar tissue and adhesions would have been interfered. Oh, I feel like intellectual there. I feel like I write a paper with that one, but Stefan, give me a box thing. That was it. And you see, Stefan agree that would be a contributing factor. And most medical doctors don't look at that. Listen to me, a lot of people, and that's why when you come to Batson Associates, we give you a form to follow out, and the form is so detailed, The reason why it is detailed, because we know exactly what it is we're looking for. So the thing is, with any surgical procedure in that area, it would have interfered with the cardiovascular and the circulatory system, and that is why you're getting those. Yeah, that's why you're getting those, because she's complaining of that pain, that pins and needles, cramping situation under the feet. So it means the peripheral circulation would have been interfered with as a result of the surgery.
And also, she mentioned that she was getting some itching under the feet.
Correct, right.
Which is also because of peripheral issues.
Yeah.
And that itching will not go away unless you fix the circulation.
The circulation. And that is something we can do at Batson Associates, because I remember there was this particular client we got quickly. And again, her situation was severe insomnia. This woman came to us literally on the brink of madness, because she was on a lot of medication, a lot of sleeping tablets, and they had her using amitriptyline. She was using some Zoloft, Revotril as well. Yeah. And those things are very habit forming. They actually alter brain chemistry over an extended period of time. I mean, in emergency, I can understand they give you a Revotril to calm you down. Because when people have anxiety and panic attacks, they're going to give you an injection. They have to, again, the physical body is in emergency. Yeah. So when the physical body is in emergency, the physical body needs the most attention. You have to get the injection. The same thing applies when you go into the hospital. When you go into the hospital and you have, for example, a blood clot, they are going to give you some sort of Clexine, some sort of blood thinning injection. Because, and watch me, notice they're not giving you a tablet, right? Why they didn't give you a tablet? Because orally it's going to take too long to get into your bloodstream. If they needed to get in there now, it's an emergency. So it's an injection you're going to get. So you're going to get, and then in some cases, now they actually would have to hook up intravenous, depending on what it is they're giving you. The body is in an emergency state. Outside of that emergency, now we're coming back to the aspect now where you have the situation. And what she didn't realize, I said, "You're not sleeping?" She said, "No, she's not sleeping. She tried chamomile, she tried this, she tried that, she tried the other." I said, "Okay." I said, "All right, follow out." I watching the format. When I look down, surgeries, hysterectomy, total hysterectomy. That was the significant contributory factor to that.
That's right.
No other doctor she went to all the years tell her that. That's what I tell her. The common sense, maybe for book this. Fixing sick people ain't hard enough. Take what I'm telling you. Not hard at all. You just have to use your brain a little bit. And deal with the root cause and have a little open mind where the thing is concerned. Because the body is not only a physical body. Your body is a spiritual, supramental, or your subconscious mind, your mental, which is your conscious mind, your vital, which is your energy body, and your physical body is your last body. And that we call that downward causation. You have a spiritual body. You do. And that body, sorry, Stefan, go ahead.
And everything requires balance in life.
True.
You see, for example, as Dr. Batson would have mentioned on the spiritual aspect, the frequency. Let's just say you're having depression and anxiety because your frequency levels are on the lower side because of the environment that you're probably engaged in, or even persons that you have in your circle is decreasing your frequency.
Exactly.
Once you change the environment, so let's just say, for example, you take time to, have some positive-minded friends to uplift you, your frequency will increase.
Definitely.
And that will increase positivity in your life and so forth as well.
People don't understand, and I'll take your guys' questions quickly. I just wanted to make a point as it relates to frequency and energy, right? Take an example of a house. If a house is empty, what happens to the house? It deteriorates very quickly. It literally falls apart. You know why? A house that is lived in, what happens to the house? The house is good, right? Everything.
It's maintained.
And not only maintained, but the energy, the vibration, the people living in the house.
That's right.
That energy is actually what keeps the house standing. Energy is so important. Vibration is so important. Even from the biblical perspective, if you go back in the Bible, they tell you in the time of the Tower of Babel, you know what it is said? Because they are of the same mind. Go and read that scripture again. Because they are of the same mind, there is nothing that they cannot do.
Yeah.
I didn't say that, If you believe in the Bible, the Creator said that. Because they are of the same mind, there is nothing that they cannot do. And then basically they were scattered and change language. So you can understand me, I can understand you. Because that is energy, that's vibration. And that's why they were telling you. I remember there was an experiment that they did when this is when the Chinese do this a lot to show frequency, and they did experiments on this where they took people and they put you in bunkers. So if you go below the ground, because the frequency of the human body is, I can't remember, I think it's 6.2 hertz or something like that. But the frequency of the earth itself and the frequency of the human body is basically the same. Now the thing is, if they take you and you go under the ground, the frequency, you don't have the same frequency, and you eventually get sick.
Yeah.
They eventually get sick. That's how they knew one of the reasons why silver was so positive for the immune system, because they realized that when they were in bunkers during World War I and II, or any wars, the royal family, out of everybody that was in the bunkers, had the least amount of sickness. And the reason for that is that they were eating off of sterling silver cutlery, and that. So that silver they were actually getting in their food, and that was actually boosting the immune system. But frequency is very, very important.
It is
very important. If you're married to someone or you have a partner and you're lying down in a bed together and you're vexed, how the frequency does be? You have a headache. The room you could cut. You know they say you could cut the what did they say? You could cut something with a knife. The tension with a knife. You just feel it.
For example, let's just say you go into a room because of the energy. Sometimes, depending on the room that you enter, the pores on your skin, it would raise.
Yeah.
Because of that energy present in the room.
True.
And persons tend to leech their energy on others.
Exactly.
If someone doesn't have a high frequency or energy, even if you are positive minded, it would be very strenuous for you to maintain yourself and the other person that has a low frequency.
Exactly so. And let me say something quickly, and that has been proven scientifically, and proven scientifically not in a good way. In general professions, psychiatrists have the highest or one of the highest levels of suicides, because they sit down and listen to people's problem on a daily basis. And unfortunately, they don't learn the way we learn, like grounding and energy. And because we learn, that's like massage therapy.
Yeah.
Not everybody you can massage. That's why massage therapists, there are certain things that you do. You have to ground yourself. You would hit concrete, or you push your hands in sand, or you go in the sea to remove. So you do grounding and that type of thing. Energy is a serious thing, serious thing. So, with that being said, and that's how we actually able to help persons, because those factors are also taken into consideration. So again, those telephone numbers and locations, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. You can give us, but today is Sunday, so the office is closed. So tomorrow, please God, but once you call, your number is registered. They would return your call tomorrow, please God. That number again for Chaguanas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Remember our health symposium that we're having at our DB office. That's Saturday, the 28th of October. Saturday, 28th. That's this Saturday coming here. And it's going to be 2 sessions. We have the 11 a.m. to the 1 p.m. and we have the 3 p.m. to the 5 p.m. Why are we having that seminar? You're always hearing about Dr. Batson. You're always hearing about Batson Associates. This man buffing up people on the radio on a Sunday. But you're sick. Something wrong with you, So if something is wrong with you, you always have headaches, you're not feeling good, you need to come to the symposium. So it will give you, and some exposure. We're going to have some special. We're going to give you all a little 1 or 2 things, We will sort all out real nice, man. But most importantly, the information that we're going to disseminate, via examples and whatnot is going to be, it could help you. And help, of course, someone who needs help. Because the thing is, there are a lot of people out there who are sick, I tell you, they're sick, dying, looking nice outside. These ladies, watch me, I maintain, and I got gentlemen, if you plan on courting these lovely ladies and them, make sure and carry them and do a medical checkup. I'm telling you. Because later, remember, when you take that vow, richer or poorer, sickness and in health. And I'm not saying that again, deter anybody from but that's a serious thing. That's a serious thing. There are a lot of people walking around, they're young and looking nice, and they are very, 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 they literally walking time bombs. And some of them know, Very few of them don't know, but a lot of them know. And the problem is a lot of them do not know how to change it. You know, because they're accustomed doing the same thing over and over. You know, you have a headache, you take a painkiller. Your period come, it always painful, you take a painkiller. You have a joint pain, no. And you're not dealing with the root cause of the problem. If you want to get those results, because the thing is, you're only hurting yourself because later on, you're going to have more problems. All that, you know, much people end up on dialysis because of painkillers.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know, Dr. Batson, a lot of females, as you mentioned females before, they tend to have a lot of issues faster than men sometimes because they indulge in a lot of stuff that contains sugar, like chocolates, rituals, you know, so it affects the gastrointestinal system, it weakens the immune system, you start having constipation, and all of these things as well.
Yeah. The thing is, when you look at that whole aspect, especially gastrointestinal, you know, a lot of persons, you know, because they're not eating on time. Sometimes, you know, we have challenges with it, but eating and drinking simultaneously, you know, excessive amounts of sugars in the diets, that type of thing. So, you know, that's the correction that you need to make. So, you know, come attend it's Day. That number for Day is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. That's for the South area we're doing that. Of course, we're going to do Shogunas. St. James is going to get their own. Tobago is going to get their own. We're not leaving out anyone, but we're doing Day first. Okay, so that number again, 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. Again, that's 226-4553. Dominic, over to you, sir.
All right. So next up, someone is asking, can you say what are the benefits of wheatgrass? They're asking if it helps reduce inflammation.
It does. Again, I'm very brand specific with that. I like the one with the roots and the grass because I think it's balanced. That's the one I personally have been using that for like about 16 years now. I really like it. It helps significantly with inflammation. It also helps significantly. There's a product we carry at Batson Associates that actually has wheatgrass in it. That helps significantly with inflammatory response. In fact, one of the top selling products that we carry, Optimizer, actually has some component of that in it, you know, and that helps significantly with blood flow to the brain and that type of thing. So definitely an excellent product to use. Next question.
What do you have for someone who is diagnosed with having no cartilage in the knees and was recommended to have surgery as the bone is grinding on bone? The person is 47 years of age.
The thing is, what weight does that person carry? Is that person, because the thing is, and again, this is not attempting to be rude or condescending in any way. When you look at people, a lot of people with knee problems, they tend to have a little heavy on the body. So you tend to be in some cases obese, overweight, right? I'm not saying that that is the case with this individual, but a lot of persons you find that because, you know, because of the amount of weight that the body has to carry, it's almost as if you have a foundation for one story or a ground floor or a flat house, and then you're going to put a 3-story building on it. The weight, it cannot support the weight. So as a result of that, the body degenerates very quickly under something like that. So in that case, if it's a weight situation, we have to work on the weight as well. So things like your Santula and your Alkagen water, definitely we're going to have to reduce the inflammation. So inflammation formula, there are a number of things we're going to have to do as it relates even to the digestion. Some aspects of nutrients. CMOS is going to help a lot in that situation. So you have to do that protocol for that individual specific to them. And as I said, if it is a weight situation, because we cannot have you now fixing the situation and you maintain the same weight, that doesn't make any sense. You're going to go back to square one in a matter of months or years, right? So it's a number of things we're going to have to balance where that is concerned. So that's definitely a consultation, blood analysis.
So you also have to do some exercising as well.
Good point.
Walking is definitely not one. Even though walking is good, you'll put compression on the joints and that will trigger more inflammatory response. So they will have to likely do things like aquatic therapies
Yes.
to strengthen the joints, because you need to strengthen back the joints. The inflammation will weaken the joints there.
Definitely.
So you have to strengthen the joints. And of course, as Dr. Batson mentioned, you need proper nutrients to rebuild the cartilage there. It will take some time, definitely, but it will be, it could be reversed, yes.
Yes. Someone is asking, quickly, just let me answer this question. Miss Barbara
Yeah, you go right here.
asking, do you have inflammation formula in St. James? Yes, we do. Make sure and call them, because I know they have gotten stuff on Saturday, please God, right? If they don't have it there Monday, it will definitely be there by Tuesday, please God. Miss Pinky B. Walker, says, can the woman's formula be used with the uterine formula for polycystic ovarian syndrome and trying to conceive? Yes, it can be used. That's the woman's formula. So ladies who have problems with things like polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts, infertility, those issues, definitely women's formula is something you want to check out. Uterine formula is a product we use for women with fibroids. So that's basically like a detox for your uterus, which could have things like, usually when you go and they do an ultrasound, you'll see the ultrasound would mention bulky uterus.
Yeah.
And then it would mention, fibroids, polycystic ovarian syndrome, in some cases endometriosis.
Thickening of the
uterine lining, right. Even adenomyosis in some instances, and the uterine formula really works for that, or uterine plus rather. Okay. One of the things too as well, Ms. Andra Barrows. Someone I know asked about eye optics formula. Yes, we do have eye optics in formula at all. Eye optics formula in stock, at all of our offices. So you could also get that as well. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson Associates Limited on Facebook. We are Batson Associates TT on Instagram. On YouTube, we are Batson Associates TT. And on TikTok, we are Batson and Associates. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates. And I'm, of course, with our Senior Medical Consultant, Mr. Stefan Vialva, and we're discussing health. So, of course, we go to Dominic again. And Dominic, any questions, any WhatsApp, any calls?
Yeah, so we have a call on the line.
Nice. Let's go.
Caller, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Batson.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, I'm question.
Mm-hmm.
High blood pressure and memory loss.
Right.
What would you for that individual?
Hypertension and memory loss?
Yeah.
Okay, good. No problem. You can listen off, eh? Sorry. Oh,
Go on. Go ahead.
Okay, good. With hypertension, well, the thing is, you have different types of hypertension, right? Primary, secondary hypertension. Most hypertension is secondary because there is some sort of primary or root cause associated with it. What I often tell persons, one, look at your hydration. So increase the amount of water that you drink, or you should be drinking your body weight divided by 2 ounces with water. Your diet is something you need to pay attention to. Coffee is something that you shouldn't use because of the amount of caffeine, and then coffee, of course, is a diuretic. So from biochemistry, what coffee does, it causes you to lose sodium, and then water follows sodium, and that's how diuretics work, right? So it dehydrates you further and could actually exacerbate or worsen the blood pressure. As it relates for what we carry at Batson and Associates, we carry a hypertension tea. That product does really well. Balanced circulation, which is the capsule circulation product, that is also very good for hypertension. You take one with your breakfast, one with your dinner. Keep in mind, though, dehydration is very important. So if you don't drink water, I suggest you start to drink your body weight divided by 2 ounces. We do carry a premium alkaline water at Batson and Associates called Alkagen. I would also recommend that for you. We sell 3 5-liter bottles for quite a reasonable price. I just don't call the price, but believe me, it's reasonable, right? So you could start with that at least, because that's going to help with the ORP, which is oxidative reduction potential. It's going to actually help in alkalining, because the pH of blood itself is slightly alkaline, which is 7.5 something there, right? So that's something that you're going to have to maintain there.
And omegas as well.
Exactly. There's an omega we carry at Batson and Associates. It's the omega with the astaxanthin. I prefer that, quite frankly, over all omegas. The only challenge there is if you are allergic to shell food, or if you're a Seventh-day Adventist, from that particular aspect, then you would not be able to use it. In addition to that, the regeneration circulation tea, which is a product I love, 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 love. And that's what we spoke about in the beginning, because it tastes so good, and it really helps in circulation in general, but it also helps significantly with high blood pressure. Okay, so you could check that out, and you should get some assistance with the blood pressure. And there was something else, memory loss.
And memory loss.
Right. Okay. Optimizer, which we do not have in stock, unfortunately, right now, but we would get like in about the next 2 weeks. Nerve Restore can also help, because Nerve Restore actually is an adaptogen that helps significantly with neurological function. So it improves your sleep dramatically. It improves your ability to concentrate. So it does help with improvement of blood flow to the brain, like the Optimizer as well. But the Optimizer is king in that area. Also the Cerebral actually helps with memory and actually improving not only memory in general, but long-term and short-term memory, right? It also improves cognitive function as well. Okay. Blood circulation tea as well is going to help in that area. Okay.
You know, Dr. Batson as well. Reading. Lots of persons, as we age, we tend to not read.
Right.
You know, and reading with the human brain, there's lines on the brain, and those lines are where memories are stored. So for example, a child brain is smooth because that child is now going to start learning. And for persons with Alzheimer's and dementia, they have a lot of smooth areas of the brain. So sometimes they even forget their family members.
Correct.
Right? So with reading on a day-to-day basis, you continue to create lines on the brain, and reading is like exercise for the brain.
For the brain, yes.
So that is something she can always start doing as well, in addition to the information that we shared with her.
Definitely. Excellent. Miss Caroline, sorry, Salvan Wicks asks, can you speak on tingling in the feet and the side of the legs? And yeah, same thing, circulation. So that circulation regeneration tea, the circulation tea. In fact, what I do with mine, I use the circulation tea. So I would put 1 tea bag, and I would take a half teaspoon of the regeneration circulation tea and put it in that, because that's a wild crafted tea. So it's like loose tea, which I love. So it has like little bush hunting floating in it. I find it feels so authentic. But it does, because of, the roots and the bark and whatever inside of there. And as I said, the taste is great. So that's something that you could look at. And diabetics as well would do well with that tea, because with diabetes, remember, one of the major organ systems that is compromised is the cardiovascular, cerebrovascular, peripheral circulation, nerve neuropathy. So that could help you to prevent or actually improve neuropathy issues. Okay. So again, feel free to give us a call. That telephone number again for our Shogunas office is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. That office is located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That's Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. That telephone number again, 222-8261. Davie is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Davie. That telephone number for Davie is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for St. James, 220-8113, 220-8113. Keep in mind, we have open clinic days at all those offices, so we do take walk-ins. If you plan on doing the package with the blood analysis, the scan, you just need to fast for 2 hours.
That's what I said. That's this question.
Okay, good. 1 second. Let me just see, Dominic, we'll be too short. You just answering this question from Mr. Ramona Jackman, and then we'll go back to the lines. Go ahead, Stefan.
All right. So, Ms. Jackman, as it relates to the blood count, to increase your blood count, now there's different types of anemia. So I would highly suggest that you can come in and do a consultation with us. If you have done any CBC tests before, you can always bring it in as well, so I can go through it with you. CBC usually you have to do every 3 months if you have an issue with anemia. So we'll then recommend going forward to see some improvements there when you start the program with us. But definitely a consultation is needed there.
Definitely. So Dominic, sir?
All right. Don't forget, my friends, you can give us a call at 625-2759 or 624-7729. We have just about 29 minutes again for the program this morning. 625-2759 or 624-7729. And we're also taking your messages via WhatsApp at 333-9950. We have a question here. Good morning, Dr. Batson. What can we use for fibromyalgia, and what causes it?
Fibromyalgia.
Need a response.
What they need a response?
They need a response. They
Yeah.
send a message on Facebook and they didn't get anything from you.
Oh, my apologies, my apologies. We have so much Facebook messages coming in. Yeah, they will need a response because fibromyalgia is one of the most painful diseases that they have. Of neuropathy and arthritis.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have the worst of two worlds. You have musculoskeletal pain and you have central nervous system neuropathy pain. I mean, that is excruciating. What causes it? It is considered an inflammatory disease. It is considered an autoimmune disease. And I tell people all autoimmune diseases are basically your body telling you that your inflammatory response is exceedingly high, including cancer. What could be used? There's a consultation, that's blood analysis, magnetic resonance analysis scan. We need to look at your body thoroughly, look at your oxidative stress, which is going to be exceptionally high, but we need to pinpoint certain things in the musculoskeletal aspect as well. And then we could fix you. Go ahead, Mr. Viaga.
What you could also use, until you could come into us, what you could use, because sometimes with the fibromyalgia, you feel like glasses on the skin.
Yes,
because
correct.
of the neurological issue. So they could, if they have apple cider vinegar at home, you can always mix it with water and just take like a little cloth and just pass it very gently on the skin, just to ease that discomfort until you come into the clinic. So we can go through everything with you going forward.
Definitely. I greatly appreciate that. Yes, Dominic, next question.
All right, good day, Dr. Batson. Currently, my aunt was prescribed lactulose paraffin and an enema to remove backed up stool.
Stupid.
However, her bowel is still not moving regularly. She took Dulcolax, nothing. She drinks water and Benefiber. What should I do? I ordered the alkaline water still to receive though, but she is not feeling well. What should I use? She's 75 and she also has slurred speech.
Okay. Well, the thing is, once you have backed up stool, you're not evacuating waste properly, you're gonna have a lot of challenges. That's auto intoxication, and especially at an age like that, that's gonna serious because you're gonna start to get mental, brain fog. That's why the memory starting to give problems because of all that backed up stool. Santulan is definitely a go where that is concerned. I know Santulan, we should have Santulan by this week here. Simply because Santulan is all liquid. It's something that the elderly use and they like. I just had a client recently, the last program I had, where she actually, testified with the Santulan, because there were some challenges that they had. And they called me, all panicking. I said, but don't you have Santulan? No, does. Yes. I was like, okay, take it, mix it this particular way. I changed the way they mixed it. And then they sent me a message a day after, Dr. Batson, Santulan is the best. I'm good again. Thank you very much. Right. So definitely Santulan is something would help. I would suggest you do a consultation, at least, even if it's an over the phone consultation with us, and we could always have the stuff delivered to you. I know you said you order water. I don't know when you ordered the water, but we had a change with delivery, our delivery service. We had a little delay because the vehicles were being serviced. So you could always call back the office and they could fast track that for you. But you could also do the consultation either in person if you want to come down, or do it over the phone, and we just bill you accordingly. And we actually send the product for you for her so that she starts to get results. Because I do allow a consultation, because information can be given over a telephone. I mean, it's still a consultation, right? Because timing is involved and whatever the case may be, right? An online consultation. We're not performing surgery at Batson Associates. We're not doing a specific session where it is you have to be physically present. If you're doing a foot detox or you're doing a massage or you're doing some sort of other therapy, especially when we finish and we open Londonville, where we're going to have all those things, colon hydrotherapy and all those type of things. Well, then you need to be physically present. But if that's not the case, we could do a consultation over the phone with you. We have our consultants. They call, you deal with the consultant. If you need a review with me, when I come into the office, they set it as an appointment for me on my days, a Wednesday, whatever the case. Maybe I call you and we go over what we need to go over and dot our I's and cross our T's and you start to get help. Because the objective is to get you the help that you need as fast as you could get the help. You remember you're sick, You're not in a happy place, you're not on a vacation lying down, sipping some virgin pina colada or colada. You're sick. you're in pain, your head hurting, you can't go to the toilet. So we need to find the quickest or the most effective and efficient way to deal with you. Okay.
Another thing, Dr. Batson, because of her age as well, improper mastication. Now,
right,
based on what they would have mentioned, she's using a lot of things to allow proper bowel movement.
right.
But even if she have a bowel movement and she continue to not have the ability to chew her foods properly,
exactly,
constipation will continue.
Will continue. Good
Yes.
point. Right, right. Good. So yeah, that's it. So in some cases too, when persons are elderly and we know the situation with the plate, so you're not able to because you don't already have any teeth. That's why you have to do more puree foods, soups, and more mashed foods, things like gentle, things like quinoa, those type of things that don't require much, chewing. That is, that's quite a vital point. And with things like that, especially when you have things like your mashed provision, so your sweet potatoes, those things tend to do well in the body. Chia seeds as well, because it actually rubs and creates that friction against the lining of the intestines, improves the mucosa and that type of thing. It improves even the sensitivity as it relates to the central nervous system, because bowel movement is a central nervous system function. That's part of your autonomic nervous system. I can't remember if it's parasympathetic or sympathetic. I think it's parasympathetic. But in any case, that's something we gotta check. In any case, that is the area that you need to work on. Yes, Mr. Andla, I know you're waiting, so we're gonna get to it. As soon as we get to you, I want to go to be one of the first clients. Don't worry yourself. Dominic, sir.
Right. Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You're live. Go right ahead.
Yeah, morning, Dr. Batson. Are you able to help someone whose bone marrow is overproducing blood? I will listen off there.
No problem. Definitely. Yeah, definitely, man. You can help people with leukemia already, which is bone cancer. The thing is, your bone marrow, I'll tell you this. Yes, we can help. Definitely help. There are going to be some tests you're going to have to bring for us. You're also going to have to, so you're going to have to call us first and then, or set up the appointment rather, and we will do the blood. We definitely need to do blood and scan on that individual. But yeah, we can help that situation. That's some level of inflammatory response in the body, some sort of autoimmune aspect associated with it, but we could definitely help with that. I honestly think there is few situations that we could actually not help individuals. I remember recently we had gotten somebody with ulcerative colitis. This was a young individual, like about 23 years, and the ulcerative colitis was bad. In fact, the person wasn't even Trinidadian, or they weren't residing in Trinidad. They actually came for vacation. And we were actually able to help them in the 3 months that they were here. And they continue to do well. They purchase our products and we sell it for them and the ones that they need to use. And they're good. And I'm speaking about someone who had an ulcerative colitis problem for like 3 years. So there are a few situations that we cannot help you with, but the information is important. And once we get the information, because we are so well, and again, there's no boast, it is a fact. Nutrition, you cannot get a better organization in Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean. We one of the best in the world. And I say that humbly, believe me, I really do it. Say it humbly. Because I focus so much attention on nutrition. And Mr. Vialva as well. And everyone who works, because that's one of our underlying. I tell people, nutrition will take you out of a lot of things. What a lot of people do not know is that nutrition and proper nutrition, diet ethics, is not the possession of a lot of people. Because I'm telling you that, and this is not to criticize dietitians. I have seen diets that dietitians do. And Stefan, you agree with me or not? How impressed are you?
No, I totally agree with you, because I've seen diets, for example, that even diabetic patients, they were given diet from the dietitian in the hospital.
Yeah.
And they have on the list to consume bread.
Bread. Yeah.
And
flour.
Bread, definitely, that's common sense. It will increase sugars in the body because it is on the high glycemic.
Exactly.
So you have to make those necessary changes. And the thing is with persons is that bread or flour is a staple in the Caribbean.
Exactly.
So, without that bread or flour, they tend to wonder, what am I going to eat on mornings? And there's so many things you can have.
There's so many things that you could have. And
so many things.
And the thing is, the bread, Stefan, you could agree or disagree with me here and you could let me know. sometimes the type of bread is one thing. So if you have maybe a whole grain bread, that's one thing. But the diet plan is never specific because, like, for example, if I'm saying, okay, let's say you have a slice of whole grain bread, or you have a slice of Ezekiel bread, right, which we know is a way better quality. You have a lot of grains and that kind of thing. We could tolerate that in that diet, but you have to be specific there. And now say, because I always tell persons, if I'm consuming bread like that, or high whole grain bread, which is the only type of bread I really use, I would now put some sort of, so I would have like maybe 2 boiled eggs with it, so my protein is there. I would have some oats with it, or maybe something called muesli, which is a combination of oats with nuts and almonds and all those type of things. So you cover now, you cover your bases, where even though you're having bread, the bread is a higher quality bread, but you're having it with a complement. With your protein, your carbohydrates, your nuts, your grains, and that type of thing. Definitely. So in that area, I believe, is where they lack a lot, because they are not specific in the diet. It's so general, and ambiguous in a lot of instances, So again, it's not trying to embarrass anybody, but I mean, when we do a diet sheet, and even from the perspective of supplementation, a lot of people don't understand how to do that. And that is where you get the results. Because remember, you're looking at rejuvenation, you're looking at healing. The thing is, if your body regenerates itself on a daily basis, why are you still sick? Why do you have diabetes for 25 years when your blood changes every 4 months? Every 4 months, you get new red blood cells. Your bones change every in some cases, it is 2 to 5 years. In some cases, they say anywhere between 2. So it's over a period of time, the musculoskeletal system changes. The hair you have on your head, and once you have proper growing hair, is not the same hair that you was born with. If you go by the barber, you have to cut your hair, but your hair does grow back, right? But it should grow back. Your fingernails supposed to grow back. So the thing is, your body has regenerative abilities. There's no must be, might be probably about that. And that's why I tell people, I don't debate medicine with anyone. The body rejuvenates itself. But your body could only rejuvenate itself based on the raw material that you are giving it. Fuel.
That's right.
Fuel. You do not, if your vehicle requires premium gas, you would not move the key from your brain on a mad day, even if it is you're crazy, and go in a gas station and put diesel inside of that vehicle.
Yes.
You would not be able to move the car, or the vehicle rather. So why is it that your diet, you are consuming things as if it is you're putting diesel in a vehicle that requires premium gas? That's what you're doing to your body. Yeah. So when you do that foolishness and that nonsense, you want to drink coffee every day and 5 times a day because you believe that you're big enough and nobody can tell you what to drink. Fine. Drink your coffee and get sick in peace. And don't try and stress out people, especially Dr. Batson. And I'm not saying that because somebody found when I said that they were offended because they thought I was being rude. I'm not being rude. I'm simply telling you, if it is you have intentions of wasting my time and your money, don't come to us. Simple. Simple, 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 simple. You have no vex and have no problem with that. Except for going to say something.
Another thing as well, Dr. Batson, with coffee, a lot of times persons, I would break down everything for them as
right.
usual.
And
I will, mention to them that they have to stay away from coffee. And,
right.
They will say, I can't coffee, I need this coffee.
Really?
And the reason why they're so highly dependent, well, one of them is dopamine.
Yeah.
Secondly, because your circulation isn't providing enough nutrients to the body to energize the body.
Correct.
So you definitely have to work on your circulation, probably not drinking enough water, you're probably not exercising often, so forth. Right. So those are little key factors that you have to make changes with.
True.
And in that way, because you have the ability to change.
Of course, yeah,
and
definitely.
the body to adapt.
Adapt,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
So if you continuously think that you have to depend on this coffee, you are only allowing your mind to control you.
Correct.
When you are the person in control.
Good. And in addition to that too as well, I tell persons, I'm not telling you to go and cut it off cold turkey. So that's like you're drinking coffee 25 years. I don't expect you to stop drinking coffee in the morning. You're going to have withdrawal symptoms and that type of thing. But there's a way to do it. You could wean yourself off of it.
That's right.
So if you're accustomed using a tablespoon, use half tablespoon for about a week or 2 weeks. And then you go down to a quarter, and then you go down piece, and then eventually you wouldn't need it again. So it's just a matter of just 1 second. Just have a little. Yeah. Good. So in that particular instance, Dominic, you hear me still, right?
Gentlemen, you just muted your mic.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Dominic, sorry about that. Someone was calling yeah, we had a little technical problem there. Sorry about that. Yeah, so in that particular case, you wean yourself off and you do it over a period of time, because the thing is, there is the sickness that you have, the hypertension, the arthritis, the irritable bowel syndrome, all the foolishness that you have is because you're not changing what it is you're doing. The only people do the same thing over and over expecting a different result is mad people. I always tell you all that. That's one of my greatest quotes from one of the most intelligent men that ever lived. That's Albert Einstein.
Yeah, that's right.
The only people do the same thing over and over expecting a different result is mad people. So what it is you're coming to us for? To frustrate somebody? No, clearly, we don't need that. Believe me, and I say that as respectfully as possible. So we know exactly if we're on the same page or you in our next book and I in a different book. And we vex, thing. We agree to disagree, and you do, but you can't just have this mentality that, well, I like coffee, I like to smoke. And the thing is, what I always tell people, because we deal with smokers, that's one of the things we're going to start to do, because we're going to do a whole different aspect of detox. And I believe all smokers should detox. All of you should do it, because, okay, smoking is one of the hardest things to stop. We know things are hard to stop, especially things like that. But the thing is, at least try and do something to negate the negative effect. Bring someone. You can't do everything bad, man. How you go down? Everything bad you do. And don't do anything to stack the odds in your favor. And then you get a stroke or you get cancer. And then you're wondering, well, okay, how does this happen to me? It happened to you because you basically eat yourself in that position and whatever practices you had in that, in that particular situation. So again, feel free to give us a call or visit those telephone numbers. Again, keep in mind, Saturday, the 28th of October, all roads lead to our Debe office. So those of you in Barrackpore, Pinal, Debe, take full advantage of that. That telephone number again for Debe's office is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. Tobago, of course, is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number for Tobago is 226-4553. Again, 226-4553. For those of you international, the number for international clients, of course, area code 868-373-2388. Remember to like us, share us, and of course, this evening as well, this evening at 8 p.m., we will actually be... Anyway, let me, I'm going in a big way and talking. Let me confirm something with Mr. Shakil. So over to you, Mr. Dominic, sir.
Someone says they've been trying to source Floridix calcium for a while, but it's out of stock. Could you recommend any other calcium substitute?
The thing is, if you're looking at calcium, I prefer nutrient dense where that is concerned. And when I say nutrient dense, for example, the wheatgrass, with the roots and the grass that we carry at Batson and Associates. And when I say the roots and the grass, it's literally the roots and the grass, because the way it is actually grown, you actually utilize both aspects, which actually balances the product. Because root and grass, one has a heating effect, one has a cooling effect, so you essentially balance it. Whereas the grass by itself just has a heating effect, right? And those have high levels of calcium in it. The thing is, I always believe with calcium, especially, you try and go nutrient dense. I mean, you can supplement in some aspect, but in terms of the type of calcium, then that is something that you need to take into consideration. I mean, off the top of my head, I know with magnesium, it's very particular. I always like liquid where calcium is concerned, or in the nutrient dense form. So even things like your things like your inflammation formula, you're going to get some in that. You still got your mineral formula. That's also actually a good one too as well, that you'd actually get that in. Okay, chia seeds is also something that you should use. I'm a big advocate of that because that is high in magnesium, calcium. You could also use that. You soak it overnight, and you could actually consume it in the morning. You either drink it or put it in a smoothie or something like that. CMOS as well, and we do carry an excellent brand of CMOS at Batson Associates. Yields a lot. I actually have CMOS. I did one pack, and you can see I have CMOS like 3 months now still. I actually had to put them in containers and put some of them in the deep freeze. Okay, so that's something that you could actually use. Dominic, sir?
Right. Of course, just a few more minutes for the program, my friends.
Yes.
Excuse me. Doc, is there a recipe that you can repeat for the current on how to use castor oil, please? Recipe for the current. Not sure.
Well, what we did, there was one that we gave with the that's the olive oil and the raisins, which is the cleanse for the liver. So you basically take 1 cup of raisins, you soak it, so you fill the water up, wash the raisins, you take the raisin, you put it in a glass. I be using either glass, stainless steel, Pyrex, those type of things, right? No aluminum and them kind of nonsense, right? Or plastic, right? So you take the cup of raisins, you wash it out, then you put it in a bowl, and you fill up the bowl with hot water up to the level of the raisins, and you leave it to soak overnight. You essentially have to leave it for like 24 hours. So you cover it down, leave it. It will look like if it's looking like you might get a little white thing, little ferment, leave it. That is part of the process. And then what you do with that now, you take that and you throw it in an osterizer, and you add a cup of olive oil to it, and you blend it together. You put it in a glass bottle, and you put it in a refrigerator, and you drink 1 tablespoon in a cup of, you could drink it in warm water, ideally. Two tablespoons rather in a cup of warm water every day until it's finished. And that's basically there. There was something else in the question. It was that, and there was some other thing.
Yeah, how to use castor oil.
Or castor oil, right? Castor oil usually should be heated. You can mix it half and half with coconut oil. It's a very good thing. Men, if you have problems with your prostate, could actually apply it to the prostate area. Women is also very good for on their arms, your breasts, because it actually helps to clean. It's very good for applying to your stomach for things like fibroids. Women who have problems with painful menstrual cycle. In fact, we actually had some clients who actually used that together with the women's formula and the uterine plus. Excellent, excellent, excellent result. She actually gave us a testimony because she used to have painful menstrual cycle, and in first day of using the women's formula, the pain stopped because she was actually on the period when she started using it. Pain stopped. And the menstrual cycle is coming regular now. Excellent results. That was the women's formula. So check that out. That's a product that we actually have in stock. Men too, prostate formula. A lot of men who have issues with your prostate, you find you're not urinating as you should, you're getting some started stopping. Check out the prostate tea, prostate formula, as well as the Alkagen water and the Santulan, that 7-channel detox that cleans and detoxifies kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. You are keep in mind too as well, Debe, that's Saturday, 28th of October. That's this Saturday coming. Debe office 2 times. We have 11 to 1 and we have 3 to 5. Okay, guys, so take advantage of that call. Get yourself listed for the symposium. That telephone number again for David is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. And that office is located at the corner of Ramsey Mood Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in David. Very easy to find. Keep in mind, we'll be doing others for areas like Shagona, St. James, Tobago. Tobago is definitely going to be November. We're going to have to do some stuff for you guys in Tobago. So again, that number for Shagonas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. And keep in mind, we have open clinic days. You can take advantage of our pensioner special that we have for persons 65 and over, as well as that executive consultation where you have your executive consultation for detox, your live and dry blood analysis, and the magnetic resonance analysis. Great value for money. Sorry, Stefan, go ahead.
No, I think you mentioned for detox.
For detox as well. Yeah, great value for your money. You actually get a number of things that you actually see where the body is concerned. So, that is something to, again, take full advantage of. Keep in mind as well, men, as I said, prostate formula we have in stock. Women's formula, ladies, uterine formula as well, inflammation formula. Also, we have our teas, rejuvenation circulation. Really excited about that product. I love that product. That product was done with a lot of heart and soul. I tell you all, it really, really is a good product. The taste is phenomenal. The smell, amazing. And watch me, the way you feel when you drink that tea, check it out. Okay, keep in mind again our overseas clients, international numbers 868-373-2388. Dominic, we could take maybe 2 questions again before we finish, or maybe 1.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yes, sir.
Let's take. Yeah. Follow your life. Good.
Yeah, good. Actually, Dr. Batson, would you be seeing about people? Would you be attending to people?
Beg your pardon, repeat that, sorry.
If you would be attending to people.
If I would be attending to people, okay, I think, okay, you could answer off here. Attending to people in terms of, the thing is, at Batson Associates, we have right now at four offices, right? The thing is, there are specific days that I would be in specific offices, but the thing is, I do not do testing, so I would not do your vitals. I would not necessarily be doing, well, not necessarily, I wouldn't do your blood analysis, your magnetic resonance analysis scan, right? The consultants actually do that for you, and the possibility exists even when we do that, because that's basic, that's principle. Not principles rather, but in terms of their understanding and knowledge. So I would get the entire report, and then my job is just to review the reports. So basically, that is what I do, right? And the thing is, I do that at specific locations and specific times, right? Because obviously, it's just me alone where that aspect is concerned. In terms of the need for review, I mean, a lot of other people would think that, well, Dr. Batson may have more experience, and that is in fact the case. I do have more experience in terms of education. My education level is a bit higher. However, the consultants that we have at Batson Associates are well educated. Some of them hold first degrees in biochemistry and that type of thing. Degrees in, or not degrees, sorry, certificates in blood analysis, blood microscopy, nutritional qualifications and that. So you're dealing with well-rounded persons here. And then of course I was able to add my little touch to it, and because of their resilience, they work well, so they're able to determine. I have had clients who I have not seen maybe until maybe a year. They didn't have any interaction with me. I mean, they may have seen me around in the office, but they dealt with consultant, and they got exceptionally good results. Exceptionally good results. Tell some of them don't even want to see me again. They say, Dr. Batson, I don't need to see you. I deal with Mr. Vialvo, I deal with Mr. Bustamante. They get the results that they want, and that's what we want. Okay, so because of the essence of time, I would just like to say thank you very much to the listeners of Sky 99.5. I would hope that we would have been a blessing to you. Those of you, I'll repeat the recipe for you next program that we're having. So keep in mind that, of course, Saturday the 28th of October, all roads lead to Debe. That's corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That telephone number again, of course, 223-7515. That's 223-7515. General offices, Shogunas, 222-8261. That's 222-8261. That office is at the Montrose Main Road in Chagonas, Money Talks building, as well as St. James, which is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number 220-8113. Tobago is the Triangle building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number is 226-4553. And check us out on our social media. We are Batson Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson Associates Trinidad, and on TikTok, we are Batson and Associates. Thank you very much. As we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive,
try sickness.
If you think education is expensive,
try ignorance.
Dominic, sir, always a pleasure. Till next week, sir. Be safe, and we'll talk.
All right. God's blessings. Stefan, nice seeing you again, buddy.
Yes, it's
Take
a pleasure.
Yes.
Jesus, you are for me. You are with me. You live in me. My life is in you. I'm secure. Jesus, you are for me. You are with me. You live in me. My life is in you. I'm secure.